Hi, welcome back to Grammar and Thongs, and the second in a little series of lessons I'm doing on how to quote other people's works in your own writing to make sure that you get it right. Now, one area that can be a bit tricky is punctuation. And what you have to do, the trick is to work out whether the punctuation belongs to the original text or whether it should be part of your sentence. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. It was scary as they approached Dracula's castle with its sense of decay and death. Now, if this sentence here, or this fragment of a sentence, sense of decay and death, actually continues on in the original text, then we're just quoting a little bit of it. Okay, so there's no full stop after death in the original. But this is the end of our sentence. So what we do is we close the quote off, and then the full stop goes outside the quote because it's part of our sentence. Same rule with this one. Eastern Europe is a land of craggy mountains and wild landscapes, comma, which makes anything seem possible. There's no comma after landscapes if you look at the original text, okay? It's part of our sentence, so again it goes outside the quote marks. And then the opposite is true if the situation is reversed. So in this example here, our piece says Dracula addresses the audience directly, and then we introduce a quote with a full colon, and then the quote from Dracula is, "Let the light of your world burn me to dust." Now in the original text, that's the end of that sentence in the play. And so it would have a full stop. It's also the end of our sentence. So in this case, the punctuation stays with the quote marks go on that side of the full stop, and that full stop does the job of finishing both the quote from the text we're quoting and our own sentence. Another area that can be tricky when quoting other people's work is how to use capital letters correctly. Obviously, a sentence needs to start with a capital letter. So if your sentence also happens to be the beginning of the quote, then everything's fine. You've got a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence, and there was a capital letter in the original. The night is their time, and the sun's light is fatal to them. This is a partial quote, so the punctuation is on the outside. But in this next example, the circumstances surrounding the girl's death were mysterious. That's the sentence we want. But the bit we're quoting is actually part of a sentence from the original. So it's a lowercase t. We needed a capital. It's the beginning of a sentence. So what we do is we make it a capital, but we put it in square brackets. If you can see that, I haven't left myself quite enough room. But a capital in square brackets like this. And that is an indication to the reader that we have changed the original text. Okay? And then it works well because it's got a capital at the beginning. The other way that we could have got around this problem, of course, would have been to only quote part of the sentence. So then the would be our own, and we just start the quote there. The circumstances surrounding the girl's death. What if this is the situation? Dracula and his followers are creatures of the dark is our sentence, but creatures of the dark is actually the beginning of a sentence in the original. Here it is, creatures of the dark whose souls were lost, etc., etc. So we need this to be lowercase because it's in the middle of our sentence, and we haven't introduced a full quote with a full colon or anything like that. So then we use those very handy square brackets again, and we just go like this. Again, I haven't left myself enough room, but you get the idea. A lowercase c, creatures of the dark. Okay, so that's correct. And again, at the end, because we know the quote goes on, the punctuation goes outside because it belongs to us. So that's punctuation and capitals when you're quoting other people's texts. Thank you.